The mockery. The great chamber of the Galactic Council was filled with voices. Alien diplomats sat in tall silver chairs, their many eyes shining under the glowing lights of the hall. They spoke in dozens of languages, yet the universal translator made every word sound sharp and clear. The chamber was supposed to be a place of order, but today it felt more like a circus. Because today, the topic was Earth. The council had gathered to decide the future of the small blue planet. For years, humans had lived in peace, far away from the great wars of the galaxy. Their world was young, their ships weak, and their weapons small compared to the great powers of space. Most aliens considered them nothing more than a primitive species, still learning how to walk among the stars. One tall alien with crystal-like skin rose from his chair. His voice rang out like broken glass. "Earth?" he said, dragging out the word as though it were a joke. "You mean the little mud ball that still burns oil for energy? The one that thinks missiles are powerful weapons? Truly, what place does such a child world have in our council?" The chamber erupted in laughter. Long claws tapped against the metal tables. Tentacles shook with amusement. Even the usually serious leaders of old civilizations allowed themselves a cruel smile. Another alien, this one with a long neck and golden scales, added, "They name themselves humanity, but what is human? Fragile bodies, short lives, endless wars. They cannot even unite their own planet without conflict. If we gave them a single sector of our fleets, they would bow in a single hour." More laughter followed. It echoed against the curved walls, like thunder. In the far corner, a human sat silently. Ambassador Daniel Reeves had been sent from Earth to represent his people. He was not old, but his hair was already gray at the edges. His eyes were calm, though his face showed no sign of amusement. He listened to the laughter, to the insults, to the mockery thrown at the name of his world. He did not speak, not yet. The council leader, a massive being of stone and energy, raised a hand. "We are not here to laugh only," he said. "We must decide. Shall Earth be given protection under the council, or shall it be left weak and alone to learn its place?" One alien hissed, "Protection? Why waste our fleets on them? They are no threat. Their world is soft, their people unprepared. They will serve better as laborers than allies." Another chimed in, "Yes, if humans wish to join the stars, let them first kneel before the true powers." The hall filled with approving murmurs. The majority of the council already seemed decided. Earth would not be treated as equal. Earth would be treated as nothing. Daniel Reeves finally rose from his chair. His voice was steady, though quiet. "You speak of us as if you know us," he said. His words cut through the noise, and for the first time the chamber fell silent. Dozens of alien eyes turned toward the lone human. "You laugh at our weakness," Daniel continued. "You look at our weapons and call them small. You look at our history and call it violent. You look at our world and call it fragile. But you do not understand us." Some aliens chuckled again, but softer now. The human's calm tone was not what they expected. Daniel's hands rested on the table as he leaned forward. His voice grew sharper. "You think Earth will bow? You think we will kneel? No. Humanity has been broken before, by plagues, by wars, by disasters that should have erased us. Yet every time we rose again, we are still here, still fighting, still surviving. That is what it means to be human." The crystal-skinned alien scoffed. "Big words for a species with nothing to show." Daniel looked at him without blinking. "Then you will see," he said. His tone was not a threat, not a shout, but a promise. A hush spread through the hall. For a moment, the laughter stopped. The council members shifted uncomfortably in their chairs, as if the human's words carried more weight than they wanted to admit. The council leader broke the silence. "We shall vote soon," he said. "But remember this. Pride is a dangerous thing, human. It has destroyed greater empires than yours." Daniel Reeves did not reply. He simply sat back down, his eyes steady, his silence stronger than their laughter. As the session ended, alien whispers spread through the chamber. Some laughed still, brushing off the human's words as arrogance. But a few felt something else. A chill. A question. What if Earth was not as weak as they thought? And in that quiet, the seed of fear was planted. The first defiance when the Council dismissed Earth, they thought the matter was finished. But power is not always decided in halls of marble and light. Sometimes it is decided in the dust of battlefields. Months passed after the Council meeting. In the skies above Earth, the first alien ships appeared, sleek cruisers with weapons glowing like suns. They came not to destroy, but to teach obedience. The Council believed fear alone would be enough. The first demand was simple: surrender Earth's skies. Human ships were ordered to power down, their weapons dismantled. For the Council, it was routine. For humanity, it was humiliation. On a rainy morning, in a base hidden under the mountains, Commander Aisha Rahman stood before her officers. She was young, yet her voice carried fire. "They expect us to kneel," she said, pointing to the hologram of alien ships orbiting Earth. "But we are not made to kneel. We will not surrender the skies of our home." Her officers hesitated. Their ships were small compared to alien cruisers. Their weapons looked fragile against plasma cannons, yet none of them spoke of retreat. That night, the first clash came. A squadron of human fighters, old, patched together from scraps of technology, rose into orbit. Engines roared, metal rattled, pilots whispered prayers. Against them, 3 alien patrol ships moved in silence, confident of their easy victory. The alien commander sneered. "Primitive craft detected. Eliminate them quickly." Lasers cut across the void. The human fighters dodged desperately, one bursting into flames. Yet the rest fought with something the aliens had never seen before: reckless creativity. One human pilot shut off his engines, letting his ship drift like debris. As the alien ship passed, he reignited the thrusters and crashed straight into its weak point, tearing the vessel apart. Another pilot released flares not to confuse missiles but to blind the sensors of the second alien ship. Then he looped behind it and fired the last of his missiles into its rear engines. The battle was short, brutal, and shocking. 2 alien ships destroyed. One limped away, damaged, reporting back in disbelief. The humans, they fight like madmen. They do not fear death. Down on Earth, celebrations broke out in silence. Families huddled in dark basements whispered the news. For the first time, the word victory was spoken. But victory had a price. Half the human fighters never returned. Commander Aisha stood on the airfield, watching their burning wrecks fall from the sky like dying stars. Her eyes shone with tears, but her voice was steel. "Remember this night. The galaxy will know. Earth does not bow." The Council, however, laughed again when they received the report. "So they destroyed a patrol," scoffed the crystal-skinned alien. "Ants biting a boot. We will crush them fully next time." Yet the whispers began to spread, just as Daniel Reeves had warned. In the great halls of the Council, unease crawled into their laughter. If ants could bite once, could they bite again? The relentless pushback the Council did not forgive. Within weeks, an entire fleet was sent to Earth, warships larger than cities, weapons bright enough to burn continents. Their plan was simple: crush resistance in one strike, remind the galaxy that no small world could challenge their power. The skies above Earth turned red with fire. Cities shook as thunder rolled from alien cannons. Council commanders expected quick surrender. Instead, they found something else. Humanity did not fight like an empire. Humanity fought like survivors. In the forests, soldiers hid among the trees, striking alien patrols with ambushes. In deserts, engineers built traps from scraps of metal and old bombs. In the oceans, submarines moved silently, striking Council ships that dared to come close to the coasts. Even civilians joined the fight: farmers, miners, students. Everyone found a way to resist. An alien general sneered when his troops reported heavy losses in a jungle region. "How can primitives defeat trained warriors?" he demanded. The answer came when he saw footage. Humans covered in mud, blending with shadows, striking in silence. Their weapons were old, but their determination was unbreakable. Commander Aisha Rahman led from the front. She guided broken squadrons into battle, teaching her pilots to use Earth's gravity and storms as weapons. "They have power," she told her people, "but we have desperation, and desperation is sharper than any blade." In one battle above the Atlantic, human fighters lured alien ships into a storm. Lightning flashed across the sky, confusing alien sensors. Missiles struck through the chaos, and for the first time a Council cruiser burned in Earth's atmosphere. The galaxy watched in disbelief. Reports spread faster than fire. The humans had no empire, no great technology, no allies, yet they fought like they had nothing left to lose. "They are relentless," one alien commander admitted bitterly. "We crush them in one place, and they rise in another. Their spirit does not break." Inside the council chamber, arguments grew louder. Some still mocked Earth, saying the resistance would collapse soon, but others whispered fears. "If they can defy fleets this large," one elder said, "what will happen when they learn faster weapons? What will happen when they turn their stubbornness into strength?" Back on Earth, the people paid the price of resistance. Cities burned, families were torn apart, yet no one surrendered. Children carried supplies through tunnels. Old men passed down maps of old wars, teaching soldiers how humans had survived in centuries past. Every scar of Earth's history was now a lesson. And so the legend began to grow. Across the galaxy, small species under council rule heard the stories. A phrase spread in hushed voices: "The humans do not stop." The council had expected obedience. What they received was defiance multiplied in every corner of Earth. The more they pressed, the more humans pushed back, relentless, unyielding. And somewhere, in the shadows of war, Daniel Reeves watched the council's mistake unfold exactly as he had warned. The turning point, the war dragged on. The council grew impatient. Their fleets circled Earth like vultures. They had lost soldiers, ships, and pride, but they still believed in their victory. This time, they prepared a strike that would end the war in one night. Dozens of battleships aligned above Earth, their cannons aimed at the largest human cities. Their commanders promised the council, "By dawn, Earth will be ash and its people broken." On the ground, the world trembled. Families huddled in dark shelters, soldiers prepared for a hopeless fight. Even the bravest knew they could not face such firepower. The skies burned with alien light brighter than the stars themselves. Commander Aisha stood in an underground command center. Her face was pale, but her eyes sharp. "We have one chance," she told her team. "If we fail tonight, humanity ends." The alien bombardment began. Towers of fire rose from the cities. Ships screamed across the atmosphere. Earth's defenses cracked under the storm. The council laughed in victory, believing the war finally over, and then the skies changed. From hidden mountain bases, something new launched. At first, the alien fleets thought they were ordinary missiles, weak and easy to stop. But then the weapons split apart, scattering like seeds in the wind. They were not bombs. They were satellites. Within minutes, the satellites linked together, forming a vast web across Earth's orbit. Solar panels unfolded like wings, catching the light of the sun. Energy surged through them, connecting into a single network. The alien commanders stared in confusion. What is this?" Commander Aisha whispered the answer into her comms. The solar net. It was not a weapon humans had stolen from the galaxy. It was something only Earth could have built, born from years of struggling with limited energy, with fragile environments, with the constant need to do more with less. The solar net absorbed the light of the sun and turned it into power. And with that power, Earth's hidden cannons, railguns, and shields roared to life. Alien beams that once cut cities in half now fizzled against glowing barriers. Human cannons, powered by the sun itself, fired blasts strong enough to pierce alien armor. For the first time in the war, the battlefield shifted. A council battleship, proud and massive, was struck by a solar-charged railgun. The shot tore through its hull, splitting it apart like paper. Fire filled the void as the council fleets realized too late that the primitive humans had outwitted them. On the ground, people looked to the skies and saw the impossible. Alien ships burning, falling like dying stars. Hope spread like wildfire. An alien admiral watching the destruction whispered in horror, "They turned the light of their own star into a weapon." Another voice, trembling, added, "We thought they were weak, but they used weakness to create strength." In the council chamber, silence fell as reports poured in. Fleets destroyed, armies scattered, Earth still standing. Daniel Reeves, watching, from his post, said the words the galaxy would never forget. "You laughed at us, you thought we were nothing, but we are humanity, and we fight with the very fire of our sun." The council, for the first time, did not laugh. They felt fear, and in that moment the war changed forever. The relentless victory, the solar net changed everything. The council fleets, once untouchable, were now bleeding fire across the sky. For the first time, their commanders felt something they had never expected from a primitive world: fear. But fear alone could not end the war. The council still had numbers, still had ships larger than anything humans could dream of. They prepared one last push, swearing they would erase Earth even if it cost them half their fleets. The final battle began above the Pacific. Dozens of council warships descended like an iron storm, their weapons glowing red against the black void. Below, millions of humans watched from the ground, holding their breath, knowing this night would decide their future. Commander Aisha Rahman stood in the control hub of the solar net, her voice steady. "This is it. No retreat. No surrender. Tonight we show them what it means to be human." The alien ships opened fire. Beams of plasma lit up the skies, tearing through the atmosphere. Yet the solar net caught the sunlight and poured its energy into shields and cannons. Railguns fired back, burning holes through alien armor. Missiles streaked like falling stars, guided not by machines alone, but by human hands desperate to protect their home. In the chaos, a damaged council dreadnought broke through the defenses. Its weapons locked on the capital. If it fired, millions would die. A human pilot, his fighter already torn and burning, spoke his last words through the radio. "For Earth, for all of us." Then he slammed his ship into the dreadnought's cannon, tearing it apart in a blinding explosion. The humans fought like this everywhere, sacrificing, pushing, refusing to break. For every city lost, another rose in defiance. For every fallen soldier, 10 more stood to take their place. The council began to realize the truth. They could not win, not against a species that refused to stop fighting. The final blow came when Earth's railguns, charged with the full power of the sun, struck the council flagship. The massive ship split open, its burning pieces scattering across the void. The rest of the fleet broke, retreating in panic. Silence fell over Earth. The sky, once filled with fire, now glowed with the light of dawn. Against all odds, humanity still stood. In the council chamber, there was no laughter now. Reports came of fleets destroyed, of soldiers broken, of a small planet that had fought back relentlessly until the greatest empire in the galaxy was forced to retreat. Daniel Reeves stood before them once more. His voice was calm, but it carried across the hall like thunder. "You wanted Earth to kneel," he said. "You wanted humanity to serve. But we are not built to kneel. We are built to endure. We are built to rise. You laughed at us, but now the galaxy will remember our name." Silence followed. For the first time in its history, the council had no reply. And across the galaxy, among the small and oppressed species who had long suffered under the council, a new whisper spread like fire. The humans never stop. The humans never kneel. The humans fight until the stars themselves fall silent. Earth had won more than a battle. It had won a legend.